everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And today I thought I would jump on and show you how I made this pretty poinsettia card. Now, the poinsettia petals bundle is in the annual catalog. It was a bundle that was in the catalog from last year, the last mini around the holiday season. And you know, I get so caught up in the new product that I sometimes forget about some of the amazing products that we have in the annual catalog. And so last night, I actually made a card using the poinsettia petals bundle, and I thought I would show you how to do that today. I've kind of combined a little bit because I'm also using the Merriest Wishes embossing folder with it. But I really loved how it turned out, and so I thought I would jump on and show you how I made the card. Hey, Catherine, glad you could join. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop, and I will show you the card, and then I'll show you how to make this. So if you've got the poinsettia petals in your stash and haven't used it, now's the time to dig it out. So I use the embossing folder. This is the embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder from the Merriest Wishes suite that is in the current catalog. And I just love this. It's got the dies. Actually, you can cut out a piece that go in the middle, but I just love this. And I have embossed it in using the vellum cardstock. So that's going to go on the front. And then I cut out using shimmery white cardstock. I cut out the 3 different petals for the poinsettia, and I used my blending brushes to brush them with Real Red. Actually, I don't think I used Real Red now that I think about it. I think I used Blushing Bride. Yes, I did. Let's grab that. Blushing Bride, because I really like the white poinsettias that have the tinge of pink on them. And then I cut out 2 of the leaves, and I've used my blending brushes with Soft Succulent, added some gold, and then a sentiment, and just really love how this turned out. So let me show you how you go about making this card. Let me get my supplies here. First of all, I showed you the embossing folder. This is the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. So you can stamp poinsettias. This is 65%. So these actually images are much smaller than what they actually appear on what they are on the stamp set. So don't let that fool you. I was kind of caught by that, by the sentiments, because they're much bigger than they actually show on here. And then there are the poinsettia dies. Now I've got some of them already, so I don't have many of the dies here. Let me just grab them. I've kind of got them laid out on my to go into my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Again, I'm using this shimmery white cardstock just because I really like the look of that. So I've got them laid out. There are 2 pieces to these. There is the outside piece, and then there is the middle piece. And what the middle piece does is it embosses your petal. So your petals come out, not only are they cut, but they are embossed. So I'm just going to go just take this to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine gently so it doesn't kind of all fall off. And then I'm going to cut all these pieces, and then I'll bring it back. Oopsie. All right. Okay, there we go. Oh. I think I have an extra plate in here. No, I don't. What's going on? There we go. This took a minute to get it going through. All right, let's just bring this whole piece back. Get some of this stuff out of the way. All right, so these are all coming off. Okay, so I've got this piece. This piece actually comes out of the stamp or the dies that go with the Merriest Wishes, and it goes perfectly inside of my embossed piece, which is why I'm using that. And then all of these pieces now will come off. I don't know if you can see that. Well, maybe you can. So you can see the embossing on it, maybe. So it not only is it cut out into a petal shape, it is nicely embossed, as are the holly leaves. So those can all just come off. I'm going to save that because I'm going to cut my sentiment out. All right, so I don't need that anymore. So then what I did was with these, I just took one of my blending brushes. This is the one I used for red. And I'm using Blushing Bride. You could use red if you wanted to, but I like the poinsettias that have the pink on it. Hey, Carol, welcome. Okay, so this is on the shimmer, and I'm just taking my blending brush and just kind of like a sponge, sponging on the edges of these. If you get all the way on the petal, it doesn't really matter. Just to add some color. You could do this in using real red too and make it look like, you know, the red poinsettias as well. For some reason I was in a white and pink mood when I thought of this last night. All right, and then so I'm going to do all three of these. Just a little bit of color. I love my blending brushes. They are just so amazing. All right, one more petal. And then we'll just do the leaves. Okay, so that's the petals. And then I'm using Soft Succulent. Again, you could use, let's put these dies so I don't lose them. For those of you that know me, know that I have lost dies and found dies. And last night I lost another one, so I hope it will be found. All right. It's actually one of the dies from the poinsettia, so I'm going to have to switch it up a little bit on my card. All right. I'm just going to give my leaf a little bit of Soft Succulent. Very subtle. Okay. That's all. Now, these go together. Just layer them and alternate them. And if you want to make it look even more three-dimensional, what I do is I just take each of these and kind of just squeeze the point to make, just kind of fold it on the point. You could take your bone folder and you know, curl them if you wanted to. I like the look of it when you just kind of squeeze the, it's like you're kind of folding on the center vein in these petals. To me, that looks more like a poinsettia flower. So I'm just going to do that on each of them. So this is my first live actually since last Tuesday in the sketch challenge. It's been a busy weekend with, we started Thursday night with our Stampin' Up! On stage. So there were over 10,000 demonstrators worldwide participated in the On stage, which is like the convention or conference, over the course of 2.5 days. It was so much fun. I do so miss it that we can't be in person, but having it virtual is a great way because not everybody can travel. Even when we don't have COVID, not everybody can travel. So this was a great way. We got lots of people. So it was so much fun. All right. So we're going to just use dimensionals to pop these up. Again, start with the largest, and then I'm going to alternate them. And again, another dimensional in the middle. That. Now, I went ahead and cut out some other pieces. There's my. So I've cut out some pieces using gold. So there are some centers. Oops, there it is. That's the center. And then I've cut a piece out here. This is actually supposed to be holly berries. I've cut it out. The other piece that I used, this piece that I used on last night's card, I actually have lost it. It took, it went for a ride. It dropped, and I've been on my hands and knees trying to find it and can't. So we'll switch it up. Poke those holes out and get this center out of there. Okay. So where did that other? Oh. Okay, it's here somewhere. I know it's got to be. Oh, there it is. Okay. So let's use just a glue dot to put the centers on. Okay. And it's just amazing what a little bit of gold does. That. And then this can go on over top just to give it a little bit more. And then these, let's put the leaves underneath. So just kind of pop the leaves underneath. You could put more leaves on if you wanted to, more gold on if you wanted to. Just a couple of leaves like that, and then some gold like that. Okay, so there's my poinsettia. Goes together fairly quickly once you get it all cut out. Now I've got a piece of real red cardstock that is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm just going to score it at 4 1/4. And so that's the side I scored on. This is the bumpy side. The bump is there, or the mountain. So fold into the mountain and give it a good burnish with your bond folder. And then this goes on like this. Now, this has been vellum cardstock, and you will find that vellum cardstock, you will see your adhesive through. So I'm only going to put adhesive in the middle where I'm going to have this piece to cover it up. So I'm just going to take this and just put a couple of strips of Stampin' Seal in the middle. Just because you can see how you can see your adhesive through this. And then I'm going to cover it up using my shimmery white label piece that I cut out. I love it being able to combine different products, suites together and make beautiful cards. All right, so this is just going to go on, and I'm going to use a dimensional. My dimensionals. Just a couple of dimensionals. I'm not going to use a lot there. You could use glue dots. You could use a little bit of multi-purpose adhesive glue. So I'm just going to put this on like that. This would be very striking if you used a real red for your poinsettia as well. All right, so now I'm just going to take and stamp using real red this sentiment that says Happy Holidays. I really need to refill my real red pad. All right, and I'm just going to take and fussy cut this. And when you fussy cut out, don't try to make it look perfect, because otherwise it will look, you want to make it look like you intentionally didn't make it. You just cut around it or cut it out. All right, We're gonna tuck this out. I have some of this. This is beautiful real red, what's it called? Real red double stitched ribbon. It is 3/8 of an inch. So I'm just gonna take about 3 inches or so. Actually, that's probably more than that. That's probably closer to 5 inches. I don't think I need that much. I'm sure I don't need that much because I'm gonna end up trimming it off, but I'm gonna just take it, put a glue dot to hold it together. So we'll just take a glue dot, hold it together in this kind of V shape. And then we're just going to take a glue dot and tuck it underneath this. All right, there we go. And then this will also, you can take a glue dot. You could use dimensionals if you wanted, but I'm just going to take this and I kind of want it so that the happy holidays don't show, and I should have been a little bit more strategic in where I put this. So we're just going to shift that so it comes out a little bit more to the side, and then the happy holidays can just come out like that. All right, so that's the card. This is the one I did last night. Pretty similar. I think my vellum was a little bit bigger last night, but that's okay. All looks good. So don't forget to go and look at some of the products that you had from other catalogs and use them and combine them with the cards that are the products that you have from this year's catalog. So like I did this one with the Merriest Wishes suite and combined it using that really pretty embossing folder with the poinsettia. Yeah, I love this poinsettia. And there are all sorts of ways to use it. You can make a great wreath. Let me see. I've got a wreath here. Let me show you the wreath. I forget that I made it. This is from last year. I'm just going to show you this. And we don't have some of these products. These great. You may have these in your stash, but they are from last year's catalog. But this is a wreath that I made, and I just cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 poinsettias and 2 or 3 leaves on each one. I took a grapevine wreath, wrapped it with some of the ribbon that we had last year, but you could use the satin ribbon that I just used, and then used a glue gun to adhere my poinsettias and then if you use the gold on it instead of this these embellishments, this would be really pretty. So this was one I did last year. So it's another idea for using your poinsettia wreath. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. I will be live on Tuesday night at 6:30 Pacific with a sketch challenge, so I hope that you'll join me for that. And then again, next Saturday at 12 noon for actually next Saturday at 11. I think I just came on an hour early again. My gosh, I get the times mixed up. So it's 12 on Sundays, Melva. Remember that. Anyway, I'm an hour early, so hopefully others will join me and we'll be able to find this video even though I came on an hour early. I'm a little mixed up and a little tired after the onstage event. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Happy stamping. Bye.